Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I believe everyone can read me loud and clear, and I hope that this video finds you at the pink of your health. This video is the continuation of my previous video which I uploaded, Safety Officer Interview Question and Answer Part 1. This is the continuation of that, Part 2. So this time I have got a few more questions for you. So let's get started. Before that, if you have any queries regarding video or any information you want from me, kindly park your queries or questions at the comment section below. It will be responded as early as possible. And a very quick one, I just want to share the purpose of making this video is just to share my insight and experience with you guys, which over the years I have built up here, and whatever challenges I faced during project handling or during shutdown handling as HSC lead, I am going to share those very soon. So without wasting a moment, let's get started. During your interview session, many of you might face this issue, like more than one interviewer is asking question on that interview session. So you people might be wondering like why these many people are inside this room today, or if you are connected over a call or online, then also you might be wondering like why these many people are connected online, why I am seeing these many people on my screen. So with this dilemma, I came up to let you know that this type of interview is called actually a panel interview. We will see what panel interview is and its benefit. So a panel interview is a type of job interview where a candidate is asked question by multiple interviewers. It could be from HSC manager, it could be from operation side and someone from client side, or it could be someone from outside the organization sometime. So during this interview, member of the panel take turns asking question one by one at the same time. There are a couple of benefits of panel interview which is listed below. If you can see, it streamlines scheduling process, it reduces bias and more comprehensive assessment. So a streamlined scheduling, like as we all know, scheduling one interview is the most challenging part of the entire interview process. The more rounds of interview you have, the more back and forth is required and longer the process takes. Similarly, like if we talk about biases, when decisions are made collectively, it's more likely that other will challenge or counterbalance any singular potentially biased viewpoint. And yeah, for comprehensive assessment, if you talk about, like, each panelist come to the table with a different set of expertise and experience which allow for more robust assessment of the candidate. Similarly, there are many more benefits, like it save time, yeah, it expedite the recruitment process as well, and there are many more benefits of panel interview. So that's it, and let's agenda or goal of today's video is like we will be seeing list of question and answers, and what JHA and JSA is, its benefit and sample, HSC plan and its content, types of radiation, organogram, and some parts of lifting. As I always mentioned, subscribe to my channel. Thank you. The first safety officer interview question I want you to prepare for JHA and benefits of having it. Before that, heads up. In this question, don't get confused. Interviewer is looking for JHA, not risk assessment, where risk assessment is different from JHA. Well, JHA stands for Job Hazard Analysis and JSA stands for Job Safety Analysis. Both are considered the same thing. In some industry, they are calling it as JHA and in others as JSA, but both serve the same purpose. JHA is a systematic procedure to identify and evaluate workplace hazards. It involves breaking down a job into steps and analyzing each steps to pinpoint potential danger and take steps to mitigate them. It's a document in which steps of activities are break down and potential hazards are identified in each steps and providing control measures step by steps. Just take a note that this document or this JHA is only effective if it is going to implement properly without any deviation. Let's see some benefits of having JHA. First, it ensure a safe work method, safe work system or safe environment. It reduces injuries by helping employees know how to best perform a task without likelihood of injury. It helps in identifying hazards and control measure in advance. Now, in the next slide, we will see some JHA sample. Well, how you can prepare a JHA or JSA? Just to prepare these documents, you will be requiring few additional documents called construction scope of work or work pack. So once you receive those documents, then you need to identify those tasks. Like let's say for example, I need to prepare a JHA for hot work activity. So now from that method of statement or construction scope of work or work packs, I need to list down those activities. Now to carry out welding, grinding, cutting on a new erected pipe spool. This is our activity. So now I need to prepare a JHA for that. Before that, few key points we need to note it down from that given documents. Some of the items like uh, elevation, at what height this activity is going to perform, like it's mentioned 20-meter height. So based on that, with that given documents, you need to think ahead, like welding, grinding and cutting is your activity. So directly you cannot start your activity, welding, grinding, cutting, all those activities. Just in order to perform this activity, you will be requiring some materials. So how you will perform that activity without helping this or without getting these materials? So definitely mobilization of this material is required at your first step. So once this material will be mobilized, after completing this activity, again you have to demob these materials. Again you need to send it back. So in one section only you need to specify mobilization and demobilizations of material, so that that same JHA can be used for material shifting or mobilizing and demobilizing the material. Let's say for example, this is one of our JHA sample. In first section, you need to provide your company logo, company name, JHA number, project, in which project you are working, and the date when you are preparing that. Right after that, in another section, activity. What activity you are going to perform based on that given documents. Like welding, grinding and cutting pipe spool, or on a simple sentence, you can put like hot work activity on a pipe spool. Hot work will cover welding, grinding, cutting, everything. Now prepared by, who is going to prepare this JHA? Engineer, site supervisor or safety personnel involved in this, and then it approval. Who approved this? Then as I mentioned, like we need to break down those activities. Before performing this welding activity, there are certain sequence of activity. Like first we need to mobilize those materials like welding machine, cylinder, tools and tackles, all those things require, we need to mobilize them to site. And once this activity is done, again we need to send it back. So in this activity section, if you can see, mobilization and demobilizations of material at site. This is one of the steps. Second steps, using forklift, trailer, boom truck. Definitely yes. By using these material, by using these equipments, I am going to mobilize this item. Once I break down this activity at my first place, what I did, I identified potential hazards. So now based on this activity, these are my listed hazards. Like working without permit. Yes, there is a potential that people can work without permit. Personal injury due to slip, trip and fall. Caught in between pinch point while handling these materials, there is a chances like people will come in contact with a pinch point or line of fire. Vehicle movement, yes, when forklift or any trailer movement will be there, so vehicle movement is also one of the hazards. Then unauthorized operations of vehicle, forklift is there, maybe it will operate by any other unauthorized personnel. So this is my potential identified hazard. So now based on this hazard, I need to provide control measures. Obtain a valid work permit prior to start the activity. This is my first control measure, and mitigation you can also see. All involved personnel must be trained to do the job. It means all the training need to be complete before involving in the activity. Conduct toolbox talk and task briefing prior to start the activity. Position yourself away from line of fire or away from pinch point in order not to get hurt. Position yourself away from line of fire, like I mentioned already. Vehicle movement must be guided by a trained banksman. Yes, in industry or anywhere, wherever there is a vehicle movement, it need to be guided by this banksman. Operator must be trained and all vehicle checklist must be filled and inspected prior to start the activity. And gas test should be done prior to vehicle entry. Before the vehicle will come inside the process area, gas testing it requires. Yeah. So this is my first activity. So next is preparations of hot work activity. Directly we will not jump into hot work like welding, grinding, cutting. There is a several steps. Now my second step is preparations of hot work activity. Welding, grinding and cutting. Connection and disconnections of cables of welding machines and power tools. Because once you are going to connect it, definitely you have to disconnect it. So in both the sequence I put connection and disconnection. After that, preparing welding booth. This is my activity. So based on that, what are the potential hazards? Damage, defective tools. There is a chance like people will use defective or substandard tools to perform this activity. Personal injury, like hand injury will be there, like because they are using these materials. And then might be there is a drop object, because if you can see the details, it's clearly mentioned like activity is going to perform at a height of 20-meter elevation. So there is a potential that something will fall. Yeah, so drop prevention must be there. We will look at control measures later. Working at height. So working at height is also one of the hazard where there is a potential that people may fall, object may fall. Personal injury, slip, tripping hazards due to trailing cables. Once this welding machine will be there, cables will be there, then there is a chance that people may trip by those trailing cables. Now the control measure, if you can see, for these specific hazard, obtain a hot work permit before starting the job. Getting the permit validate for the specific day. Supervisor must ensure all work activities are carried out by competent personnel. Conduct toolbox meeting, review the method statement and job safety analysis to all craftsmen involved in the work activity. Keep all tools in good conditions with regular maintenance. Use the right tools for the job and examine each tools for damage before each use. So this is only example I provided on the screen. So based on this, all those activity you need to track down. You need to identify those sequence of the activity. Now next to this, manual handling will be there, then welding activity, then right after that like work at height will be there. So all those things you need to identify step by step. Based on that you need to put potential hazards and control measures you need to apply on that. This is a simple JHA I tried to explain in this video now. Okay, so moving on to the next. Now the next question I want you to prepare for HSC plan and its content. So this is one of the question interviewer may going to ask you about what is HSC plan or what is HSC plan and some of its content. So you need to describe some of its content. So before that, in your response, you just need to reply like HSC plan is a document which outlines safety measure and procedure implemented in the workplace. And the purpose, if you can see, the purpose of this plan is to create a consistent and reliable framework which can apply to all the project to improve project outcomes. So this is a document generally prepared by a contractor and submitted to client, which covers all its commitment with the client and contractors HSC policy with HSC objective, HSC communication, commitment, HSC inspection program, like in what frequency they will do this inspection and all, and definitely yes, commitment with the client. So now we will see some couple of HSC contents, HSC plan contents in this. So like it contain HSC policy first of all, then there is a commitment with the client, then regulatory compliances throughout the project, Then key personnel roles and responsibility will be there definitely, like HSC manager responsibility in that particular project. HSC lead responsibility will be there, HSC officers responsibility, supervisor responsibility, and permit holder responsibilities. There are many more key persons which I don't want to specify now. So now moving on to the next, HSC goals, objectives, and what are the communication system they are going to use throughout the project. All those things will be specified on that plan. Then emergency response plan during emergency, how and what they will do, site audit and survey, and HSC inspection, and there are many more. So these are the contents you will find in that HSC plan. Another good one I want you to prepare for: radiation and types of radiation. When interviewer is going to ask you, or when this terminology radiation it's coming, it means interviewer he is turning his interview towards radiography. So maybe he will switch on to the radiography later on. So just a kind of a heads up, before attending this interview you just need to have a bit knowledge or idea about radiography. Very soon I am going to prepare a detailed video on radiography, its hazards and the control measures, and which is the suitable time to perform a radiography activity and all those things. Coming back to this video, so what is radiation and types of radiations we will talk about. So radiation is the emission of energy as electromagnetic waves or moving subatomic particles. Natural radiations comes from many natural occurring radioactive materials found in soil, water, air in the body. Artificial source of human exposure to radiations are X-ray machines and radioactive material. So this is one of the suitable answer you can provide to the interviewer if he is asking about radiation. But when he is asking about radiography, it's different. So radiography is NDT. Like I said, I'm going to prepare a detailed video on that. So now some couple of radiations, types of radiations if you can see. So there are two types of radiations: ionizing radiations and non-ionizing radiation. So what is ionizing radiations? It's high energy particles and more harmful comparing to non-ionizing radiations. It's alpha, gamma, beta rays, X-rays and neutrons. Non-ionizing radiations, it's low energy particles and less harmful, like ultraviolet, infrared, radio waves and laser. So this is one of the suitable answer you can provide to the interviewer when he is asking radiation and types of radiation. Another question I want you to prepare for your interview is about organogram. Interviewer may going to ask you about this question, like define organogram. So it is a useful tool to visualize reporting relationship and communicate employees' name, skills and contact information. So let's say for example in an organization there are a couple of HSC officers working in day and night. So there are 8 HSC officers working in night and another HSC officer working in day shift. And these HSC officers, they are reporting to their respective HSC leads day and night. And these HSC leads day and night, they are reporting to his manager, to his direct HSC manager. So if you can see the entire hierarchy relationship between manager and the people he reported to them. So this entire game, it's called organogram. It's a graphical representation of an organization's structure. It used to show hierarchical relationship between manager and the people who report to them, as well as the department. So this is the good answer you can give. Next question I want you to prepare for your interview is from lifting activity. So what is lifting equipment and lifting accessories? So let's see. Lifting equipment, devices for raising and lowering a load like crane, rope hoist, winch are called lifting equipments. Well, lifting accessories, devices which connect with lifting equipments like web sealing, shackle, plates, clamp, beam clamps. It's called lifting accessories. With this, we came to an end in today's video. keep an eye on my next video. Till then, stay safe and stay tuned. Thank you very much. And coming up very soon, I'm going to upload a video on shutdown activity. What are the question and answers going to ask during shutdown activity, and more specific shutdown activity phase. What are the phase involved in shutdown activity? I'm going to upload that. Thanks for watching SOKT Safety Officer Knowledge Transfer. Once again, subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed for more informative and fruitful video. Have a progressive day ahead. Thank you very much.